Mumbai, a city of landscapes, skyscrapers, and speeding traffic. Also a city of slums, hunger, and poverty. On these streets, hundreds of women and children go to sleep without a home or food to eat. In 1985, Sister Isabella, a missionary from Spain, decided to equip these women with the power to feed themselves and their families. As she recalls,
I found myself and my companions in Ganesh Kripa Sadan colony in Yogeshwari East. We too became Islam dwellers, and like everybody else, we too lined for our turn at the common toilet and water tap. We lived wall to wall with crying babies at night, with the smell emanating from kerosene stoves. We witnessed many a brawl, heard the cry of battered women, the shout of drunken husbands. We witnessed the toil, the sweat, the smiling and lovely faces of the women. We live in harmony with Hindus, Muslims, and Buddhists, never for once thinking that we are different than they are.
But it was not enough to be one of them. She wanted to empower them to change their own lives. So she started by teaching 2 women from the slums of Mahakali how to stitch. The idea was to give them economic freedom. In 1994, the number of women grew to constitute an organization that came to be known as Creative Handicrafts. The organization was a small group of women selling handcrafted textiles, soft toys, and other things for the home. Today, this organization has 6 such centers where 150 women create products for sale. These are at a display center right in the middle of an urban slum, at a retail shop right in a busy shopping area in Bandra, Mumbai, and through a mobile sales unit. In addition, Creative Handicrafts also exports its products to other countries, particularly Spain and France. Then, in the year 2000, Creative Handicrafts also started Asli Foods, where women themselves made hygienic, tasty, and unadulterated food and supplied them to office-goers as lunch packets. Today, in addition to the 6 centers and Asli Foods, Creative Handicrafts has other forms of outreach. These efforts include an Adivasi training center for tribal families living in the villages of RA Colony, and a sponsorship program for the educational expenses of poor children. In addition, it has 3 balwadis that take care of the children of poor mothers. There is a community clinic, some Mahila Mandals, savings and credit groups. All these efforts together reaching out to literally hundreds of poor families, primarily through the women. The staff at Creative Handicrafts, headed by Johnny Joseph, are in charge of taking orders, organizing the sales, managing the finances, and deciding the designs and the products to be made. The staff see themselves as partners with the women.
All these years, what has been happening is either we are involved in cold business or we are involved in what is called a heart-inspired, spontaneous social work. We realize that both of these, in isolation from each other, cannot solve the huge unemployment problem in India and the mass poverty that we see in our country. So Creative Handicraft is trying to put these two together and to create a business that is not profit-driven, but business that is driven by development of women, especially women, and development of a community.
It is in this spirit that though the staff at Creative Handicrafts handle the administrative and business part of the process, the women are the ones who actually own this organization. Anjali Tapkare is one of the women who has grown with Creative Handicrafts. The organization helped her develop from a worker to group manager to center in charge.
जेव्हा पुढे जातो माणूस ना, त्याला खात्री असते माझ्या पाठी कोणीतरी येणार आहे, तेव्हा तो तेवढा अगदी मोकळेपणाने पुढे जातो, अगदी प्रामाणिकपणे की नाही माझ्या पाठी कोणीतरी आहे, मी उद्या पडलो किंवा मला उद्या काहीतरी इजा होते तर माझ्या पाठी धरणारे खूप जण आहेत.
Today, she is a woman representative who is also chair on the board of trustees trying to help others like herself.
मला स्त्री अशी हवी की ती परिपूर्ण आहे.
But there are challenges ahead.
Trying to be a fair trade organization in a globalized world where rich countries who have the ability to give huge subsidies and where huge companies have the ability to absorb temporary losses and where again labor is at the mercy of the owner of the capital. It is difficult for organizations like us to find market for our products at a fair price, which will again allow the women to have a reasonably enough profit to make a living.
And so, the battle is not over. The struggle continues. But from a humble beginning of two women learning to make a few clothes, Creative Handicrafts today has been able to help a large number of poor families to face the world with dignity. But there are many outside the organization who have been part of this effort. Everyone who buys a handmade product of Creative Handicrafts is part of this effort to empower an underprivileged woman and her family to make themselves economically independent. Then we have our donors and volunteers who have each contributed in numerous ways to make us what we are today. To all of them we say, thank you for making our world a less unequal place.